What's up, basketball fans? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today we're starting off with the biggest news of the day. Russell Westbrook is going to miss part of the start of the NBA playoffs. He suffered a quad strain just recently, and there's no timetable for his return. The Houston Rockets are set to face Russell Westbrook's former team in the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round, but we know that Russ is going to at least miss the first game. There's talks of him missing the entire series, but I wouldn't count on that. I think Russ will try to get back, but there's no telling when he might be back. The Rockets want him back as soon as possible, though. His numbers this year have been outstanding as always. 27 points per game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Not a good three-point shooter, never has been, but has continuously been that triple-double threat. And without Russell Westbrook on the team, the Rockets are not the same. Of course, they've got James Harden. That's a great shooter, but they don't have Russ. They also don't have Eric Gordon as they go into the playoffs. There's no telling when he'll be back. So you're missing two of your regular starters as you're going up against a really hot Oklahoma City team. And not to mention, Oklahoma City has dominated Houston this year in its matchups. First matchup of the year, October 28th. That was one of the first games of the season. Houston got the W by just 8 points. And then January 9th rolls around. The Thunder get a W. And then January 20th rolls around. The Thunder get another W. So there's really no telling what this team is going to do or what it's going to look like without Russell Westbrook. Now, as the projected starting lineup, what this is going to look like, I think, without Russ, you put Ben McLemore in there, who's actually been pretty good for Houston as a reclamation project. And, of course, you've got James Harden. And if you got James Harden on your team, you always have a chance to win. But then you slide Daniel House into the starting five because there's no Eric Gordon, and Robert Covington and P.J. Tucker down low. And that's going to hurt you real bad when you got a big man like Steven Adams. You got a big power forward in Danilo Gallinari. The Thunder also have SGA, Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, T. Ferg, Lou Dort. This is going to be a really tough matchup for the Rockets if they don't have their second best player in Russell Westbrook. Some would argue he's their best player. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I think James Harden still has that title, but it's going to be tough. So let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win that series, especially considering Russ is going to miss time? The OKC Thunder or the Houston Rockets? Now, speaking of the Houston Rockets, their head coach might be on his way out. Mike D'Antoni's contract is up this summer with the Houston Rockets, and there's already talks that the Rockets are just going to let him walk, which would make some sense because ever since 2017-2018, when the Rockets made it to that conference championship and nearly probably would have gone to the NBA Finals if Chris Paul had stayed healthy, Mike D'Antoni has underachieved. Now, the biggest problem with the Rockets, too, is that if he doesn't make it to the Western Conference Finals again this year, that window with James Harden and Russell Westbrook continues to close in the Western Conference. So the Rockets got to jump on it while they can, and I'm not sure Mike D'Antoni is the coach to do that, and neither are the Rockets. Now, when you look at what he's done with the Rockets so far, it's been successful, absolutely. 2016, 2017 makes it to the semifinals. And then there's that 2017-2018 year where they won 65 games. They get to the conference finals. And then the next year, scale it back a little bit to the semifinals. Then to this year, they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's a good chance they get knocked out in the first round by the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if they're gone in the first round, D'Antoni's definitely not coming back. But one guy that they could bring in to replace Mike D'Antoni, report is that Tyronn Lue is going to get some serious looks from the Houston Rockets. Now, Lue isn't their only candidate if D'Antoni's gone. If D'Antoni leaves and they don't bring him back, Jeff Van Gundy is also in the running, who's already coached for the Rockets before, but there's already serious talks that he could be back inside with the Houston Rockets organization if D'Antoni's gone. But Ty Lue might be the most serious candidate. And, of course, Tyronn Lue has had his ups and downs as a coach. He coached with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now he's with the Los Angeles Clippers as an assistant. And when you look at what he did with Cleveland, he made it to the NBA Finals 3 times. He won the NBA Finals once, and then his team kind of gets blown up. He starts 0-6, and he gets fired. So you can call it fair, you can call it unfair. Tyronn Lue probably deserves another shot as a head coach, and whether it's with Houston or Brooklyn or another team that needs a coach, he's going to end up being a head coach somewhere this offseason. Now, basketball fans, I asked my bosses if I could tell you about these T-shirts because they're on sale right now, and they're shipping for free for a limited time only, and I don't want you to miss that. So go to chatsports.com/NBA shirt. Whoever your favorite team is and whoever your favorite player is, Fanatics has them available, but they're only shipping for a limited time. So you got to jump on this right now. Chatsports.com/NBA shirt. Go check it out, and then tell me, go ahead and roll down to the comment section. Tell me, which shirt did you buy? Which team did you buy? Now let's keep talking about the NBA coaching carousel, because there's also rumors that Alvin Gentry is as good as gone in New Orleans. Down in the bubble, there have been rumblings that him getting fired is no secret. He's gone this summer, according to a lot of reports coming out of the NBA bubble. Now, in 5 years, he's currently in his 5th year coaching with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's only made the playoffs that one time when the Pelicans had both Boogie and Anthony Davis. And when you look at the talent that the Pelicans have had around Gentry, with Drew Holiday, now with J.J. Redick, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, look in the past like Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, it's pretty obvious that this guy is underachieved. And now you got a budding superstar in Zion Williamson. You can't afford to have a coach that's going to underachieve. So now we go back to Mike D'Antoni. You see his face on the screen again. Could he end up in New Orleans? That is the other rumor, is that if Gentry's gone, they want to bring in Mike D'Antoni because he already has experience with David Griffin and with that New Orleans Pelicans front office, and he's an offensive mastermind. And look, the Pelicans are good defensively. They've got solid defenders in Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, even Zion's a solid defender. Their offense needs to be revamped, and the best way to do that is with a guy like Mike D'Antoni who knows how to run an offense. When you look at what D'Antoni's done with the Houston Rockets and how far he's carried them offensively, obviously they have a great talent in James Harden. He's a big reason for all of this, but you can't do it with a bad coach, and that's why D'Antoni might be getting the job done with the Pelicans. They're second in points per game at 118.1. They're first in three-pointers made per game at 15.7. They are first in free throws made per game at 20.7, and they're fifth in offensive rating at 112.8. So Mike D'Antoni might be the perfect fit in New Orleans. Maybe Tyronn Lue. Maybe Alvin Gentry is the pick to stay there. But I want you guys to make your predictions down below. Who should replace Alvin Gentry in New Orleans? Because at this point, the dude is as good as gone. So now you get to pick the next head coach. Who might that be? Now, one guy that's in New Orleans right now, but also could be on his way out, is Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. According to The Athletic, Lonzo Ball has looked checked out inside the NBA bubble, and the Pelicans are looking to make some major roster changes to the team. And that could include moving on from Lonzo Ball. Now, you've seen what he's done in the bubble. He has struggled. It has been painful. David Aldridge had this to say about Lonzo Ball. He said, people down in Orlando tell me Lonzo Ball looked like he checked out the whole time the Pels were there being the NBA bubble, and that they expect some significant roster adjustments in New Orleans before next season, implying that Lonzo Ball could be on his way out. Now, listen, just because he's been bad in the bubble, because, number one, the Pelicans have been bad as a whole, doesn't mean he's going to get traded. I'm not predicting that, but this is the rumbling. Now, when you look at what he did before the bubble, he was putting up 12 points per game, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 38% from 3. He became a breakout star and really showed why he deserved to be the number 2 draft pick just a few years ago. But then in the NBA bubble, when the Pelicans have needed him the most as they fought for a playoff spot, everything's dropped off. Back to 7 points per game, down to 6 assists per game, down to 5 rebounds per game. Three-point percentage has dipped over 10%, and so has his field goal percentage. So it's not good for Lonzo Ball. It's not good for the New Orleans Pelicans. And maybe they can get a lot for him in a trade scenario. Now, I don't expect him to get traded. I think if the Pelicans bring in a new head coach like a Mike D'Antoni, he becomes very valuable to this Pelicans team. He's been valuable all year long. He's just had a rough stretch of games. And yeah, it's in the most important part of the season, but I don't think that warrants trading him. So I want you guys to scroll down to the comments section and make your predictions. Where is Lonzo Ball going to be playing next year? I'm going to predict it. I think he's staying in New Orleans. I don't think he's going anywhere. But there are a lot of teams that would love to have him on their roster. Now, Shams Charania of The Athletic tweeted out the NBA Finals schedule. And so I'm going to give it all to you right here so you don't have to go look at Twitter. You can look at it on this video. You can even take a screenshot of what we got on the screen. Where is it? Right this side. Yeah, it's all right here for you. Next Monday, August 17th, NBA first round starts. And then you go second round, third round, obviously. But then you jump ahead to September 30th. That is when the NBA Finals are set to start. That will be Game 1. And then October 2nd, Game 2. October 4th, we'll get the third game of the NBA Finals. And then October 6th, we'll get to Game 4, where they could sweep whoever is in the NBA Finals, but I wouldn't expect it. So if necessary, you'll have 2 days in between Game 5, 6, and 7 on October 9th, October 11th, and October 13th. See, now here's the deal. My birthday is in October. So what I think the NBA is doing is saying, hey, Jimmy, for your birthday, we're going to give you the NBA Finals. And I just think that's the sweetest thing in the world of Adam Silver. I'm going to write him a personal thank you note. I really appreciate him doing that. Guys, I appreciate you watching. As always, go ahead and give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and tell me, because we're at the end of the video today, tell me where you were watching from. Shout it out in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.